Hello everybody, my name's Liz and I'm the Baker That Sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you're a subscriber. It's really lovely to have you here. So today's video is going to be all about my Tilly and the Buttons Indigo Dress collection. So over on Instagram yesterday I asked everyone to sort of guess how many indigo dresses or variations of the indigo dress I have made. And there was lots of differing answers ranging from, I think 5 was the lowest number, 14 was the highest number. I will reveal at the end how many dresses I've actually got. There's a lot more than I thought. I do absolutely love reusing patterns. So I've done this kind of video with my Dear and Don't Maya Sotis dresses, so I thought I'd do it with my indigo collection because I've got such a range. So I thought I'd share all my different indigo makes and the fabrics that I used. But before I get into that, the dress that I'm wearing is a Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress made in this beautiful viscose polka dot blue viscose that I got from Sewmesunshine, and this is using the add-on pack, which I'll go on to talk about in more detail, but I'll just stand up for you. I love it, it's really swishy. I have put pockets in, and then this has got the button down back detail, and then it's got the ruffle at the bottom. This is perfect for the summer, absolutely perfect. I love this style of dress on me, sort of the midi maxi. Does that even make sense? It's like midi length, but then it's got a ruffle so it goes into a maxi style dress. It's just my go-to dress at the moment and my go-to style. It feels great for the summer because it's really floaty, especially made in a viscose. It's really floaty. Anyway, the Tilly and the Buttons indigo, if you don't know the pattern, I've got it in front of me so I can hold it up for you. But it's one of the patterns from Tilly and the Buttons, and it's in the extended size range. So prior to the indigo, and I think the Bobby pinafore also is in the new extended range, Tilly and the Buttons did sizes ranging from, so they have numbers going from 1 to 8, and the new size range is 1 to 10. And if I just give you an idea of bust, waist and hip measurement, so the sizes 1 to 8 range from a bust 30 inch all the way up to a 44 inch bust, and then the waist 24 inch all the way up to a 38 inch waist, and then hip measurement 33 inches all the way up to a 47 inch. And then they extended their size range, which lots of pattern companies are doing now, which is fantastic because it's really great to be size inclusive. So they still stick with the numbers 1 to 8, but then they've got 2 more sizes added on the end, so it ranges from a 1 to a 10, and that means that the sizes can go up to a bust 48 inch, which is another 4 inches, waist 42 inch and hip 51 inch. So some of the older patterns like the Jesser trousers, they're still in the smaller size ranges from 1 to 8, but the Bobby pinafore, which I've got here, that's in the new size range, so it goes up to a size 10, which is a UK 24, US 20 and European size 52. And that's the same for the indigo. So this is the pattern. It's the Tilly and the Buttons indigo pattern, and it's a loose fitting smock dress. You can see how much I've used this by how battered the packet is. So yeah, it's a loose fitting smock dress, but you can also make a top version. If you can see there, you can make this lovely top version, and then this is the dress version. There's no fastenings on it, you just pull it on, unless you do the add-on hack pack, which I'll talk about because that has got fastenings. It's got a gathered skirt at the seams, or you can do this lovely exposed ruffle, which I don't know if you can see it on there. It's probably better to show you the lovely model. So you've got this exposed ruffle. Something else, I'm just going to stop talking about the indigo for a second. My nails, I thought, you know, it's the summer holidays. I'm a teacher, and normally during the school week it's really busy. I'm an early years teacher, so I've always got my hands in paint and glue and just all kinds of stuff. So I never really paint my nails, but it's the summer holidays, so I thought, oh, I'll paint my nails. But I've got 2 girls who did not want mummy to be relaxing painting her nails, so I painted them, and then you can see on these fingers it's just all smudged where my girls have asked me to do something and I've not waited long enough for it to dry. So I've run out of nail polish remover, so after I film this video I'm going to go and get some nail polish remover and repaint my nails because my husband has taken the girls out for the day, so I've got a sewing day, so hopefully I'll get a chance to paint my nails. So I just thought I'd say sorry if you see a close-up of my nails and they're just really awful. Apologies for that. Tilly and the Buttons Indigo Dress. It's a loose-fitting smock dress, but you can also make the top version as I've shown you. You can gather it at the waist seam like I have here, so I've just gathered it in. Or you can do this lovely exposed frill, which I've done on a few of my versions. And it's actually a really simple step to do. It's not as difficult as you would think it would be. You just need to pin it or clip it quite a lot and have a bit of patience. So I've already said about the seams. I've got my little notebook in case you see me looking down. It's got bust darts, which gives it nice shaping in the bodice. It's a curved empire waistline, which means it sits higher than your natural waist. It's got gathered floaty skirt that you can do in different lengths. There's different sleeve options as well, actually. So you can do these, you can just do the bracelet length sleeves, or you can add a flounce, which is really cute detail. So I've got a couple of versions with the flounce and a couple of versions, I think I've only got 1 or 2 versions with the bracelet length sleeve, because it's not a sleeve that I feel comfortable in. I prefer to have the shorter sleeves, and then a lot of versions with shorter sleeves. And then there's the add-on pack. So the add-on pack allows you to turn it into sort of a midi length maxi dress. So it's got this frill on the bottom, but then it's also got these shorter sleeves with the shorter ruffle, which is really cute. And then it's also got the option to turn it into a button back, which I've done on this version, if you can see. So you can turn, it's the option to cut the back bodice as 2 separate pieces and then add a facing so that you can put buttonholes and buttons on, which I really like that version. It feels really comfortable. As you can see on me, it's quite loose fitting. It's meant to be quite loose fitting, which is why it's got no fastenings for the regular version. You can just slip it on over your head. And I know some people prefer to try and bring it in at the waist if they possibly can. So I know Joy from Pink Coat Club, she did a hack where she added some ties, and I actually used her idea for adding ties into a couple of my versions too, just so I can bring it in, especially if I've used a thicker fabric. So the type of fabric that Tilly recommends that you use is a light or medium weight woven fabric. Having said that, I have tried it in a stretch, a jersey fabric, or I think I used it's a sweatshirting fabric, which I'll show you at the end because that's probably one of my favourite versions, and it did work. I just had to play around with the seam allowance and the neckline. And also I decided to add some buttons in the back. So really you want a fabric that's got a bit of drape, but I have used some cotton poplin, and actually I still quite like the shape that you get from using the cotton poplin. Fabrics that they suggest: cotton lawn, viscose rayon, tencel and double gauze would work really well. So double gauze I think would be less drapey, it would give you a bit more of a boxy structure, but again I think that would be really nice because double gauze is really breathable. And it's aimed at confident beginners. I would say if you are a newbie to sewing and you want to upskill yourself, the indigo pattern is a fantastic pattern to get going with, especially if you want to start trying out using drapey fabric, because you can just make this version where there's no fastenings, there's a facing, which is a good skill to have, and then you just gather it into the empire seam line. So it's actually quite a straightforward construction, and Tilly's instructions are incredible for beginners. Like, she really holds your hand and guides you through, and I really like, I don't know if I've got the booklet in here, actually I haven't, but what I really like about Tilly's instructions, I wonder if I've got the booklet in here, is you have the colour photographs. So this is for the bobby pinafore, but you've got those really high quality photographs next to the instructions that really guide you every step of the way. And something else that I really like about their photos is it's quite obvious which is the right and the wrong side. So yeah, instructions cannot fault. So let's get into my different versions. So I have ironed them because lots of them are really creased, and if you've watched my previous videos you'll know that I do not like ironing at all unless I really have to, but I didn't want to hold up really crinkly versions. As always, I'll insert proper pictures so that you can see what it looks like on me, but let's get started. I've put them into different groups of style. I might keep hold of this actually just to show you my different versions, but let's start with, I'm in such a huge pile here, you'll be able to see. all my different versions. So I'm going to start with the versions where I have done the exposed frill here and the long version with the flounce sleeves. I'm going to hold them up one by one just so you can see, and I'll tell you what fabric I've used for them as well. So this version, I will put pictures in because I'm not going to be able to hold it up properly, has got the exposed seam on the waist and on the sleeves, and then I've added the flounce. It has got pockets, really good size pockets actually, and this is a gingham that's got daisy print. This is a gingham that's got a daisy print, and I got this from Like So Amazing. It's beautiful. So this is a cotton, but it's a really lightweight cotton, so actually it works perfectly for the indigo. So that's one version. What I will say about the flounce on the sleeves, I adore that feature of the pattern. I think it's beautiful detail. But what I do find, if I wear this dress to work, I find that the flounce, it's probably me because I travel like a million miles an hour when I'm at work. I find the flounce is the perfect length to get hooked on doors. So I found quite often wearing this when I'm at work and I'm like coming in and out of the classroom or going outside to support children with their play outside, I'll get hooked on a door and then I'll have to sort of backtrack to unhook the flounce. It's not a downside, it's just quite a funny thing that I've discovered. So that is version 1, and I went for it with the frill. I didn't add anything to the skirt, it's just the long skirt. Then I'm sure I'm not the only one that got this Dotty About Dots, beautiful, really soft viscose. So it's a white background with tiny little polka dots. So again, I did the flounce on the sleeve, and I did the exposed ruffle on the sleeve and the exposed ruffle on the waist. And I added pockets. This one, I didn't have enough to do the longish skirt, which is this one. So I think I took like an inch off the bottom because I didn't have enough to do that long version. But it's still a decent length. It's really cute. It's a really nice version and it's really lightweight. This one is probably one of my favourites. It's in a cotton lawn. So again, a cotton lawn's slightly firmer fabric to use. You don't get as much of a drape as you would from something like this fabric and as much movement. So that's just something to be aware of. But I absolutely love this fabric. This is from Fabrics Galore. That fabric, the Dotty About Dots, this one, I think I got it from Sewmesunshine, but I know that System in Tarka stocks this as well. I don't know if they've got any left because it always flies out really quickly. So yeah, this fabric I got from Fabrics Galore when I went to the Stitch Festival with Shelley, the crafty mum sews. It's such a fun print. It's got all these fruits all over it. I absolutely love it. This is probably one of my favourite versions to wear, and then because it was so rainbow-like, I've stuck one of Pink Coat Club's labels in, DIY Outfit of the Day, Rainbow. This is right up my street because I absolutely love bright and colourful things. And yeah, I added the flounce. So even though I know I get hooked on doors, it's not stopped me from adding the flounce on the sleeves. And then this has got the exposed ruffle as well because it's such a cute detail. This one, I shared pictures on my Instagram and said that I was a bit about this one because it's so bright. It's a yellow vintage fabric that I think I got from eBay. It's beautiful fabric, and I made a matching headband. Yeah, somebody suggested that I needed to wear blue because blue would help break up the brightness of the yellow. I have worn it. I've worn it when we've had really hot days, and it is really comfortable to wear. But yeah, it's just, I mean, I love bright colours, but it is very bright. So it's this lovely vintage fabric that's got like orangey sort of shades of flowers and then a white background and these lovely yellow flowers that remind me a little bit of buttercups. And again, I added the exposed ruffle on the Empire waistline and then the flounce sleeves with the exposed ruffle too. So that's another lovely version. Then I've made a couple that are in similar fabrics. So this one, I think I said I got that fabric from eBay. I love looking on eBay for vintage fabrics. This lovely, it's a sort of a navy dark blue background with these pops of colour. I think I got this from Material Girl Laura because I know that she had this in stock. I love the pops of the mint florals. Again, it's a viscose, so it's really floaty and really drapey. I added pockets, and then I added the exposed seam on the flounce for the sleeves, and then the same on the waistline. And this one I tend to wear in the autumn. I don't know if it's the dark blue, but I don't tend to see this as a summer version, so I tend to wear it in the autumn or the winter, and I just layer up. So these dresses are great actually for wearing a jumper over the top of, to get the most wear out of them in the winter. So this one I would quite often wear to work with navy tights, or trying to think if I would wear any other colour tights. No, oh, green tights possibly, with a navy jumper over the top. And yeah, if I don't want to wear the navy jumper over the top, then I would wear like a thermal vest underneath, just to keep myself nice and warm, or paired with a navy cardigan. So I definitely see that as more of a winter version. This one I've made using fabric from a So Hayley Jane box, and it's this lovely, they're flowers, but for some reason it just reminds me of cherries. And yeah, I just love it. It's a directional print. Yes, they're all going one way, which still works for this pattern. I've got the exposed seam again on the waist, and the flounce and pockets. Again, I see this as a autumn-winter version, and I tend to wear this with tights. And again, I pop a navy cardigan on, or I pop a navy jumper over the top if I need to when I'm wearing it to work, because it gets freezing at work. And with my job, I do spend a lot of time outside with the little ones. So yeah, again, I think it's the dark colours. But then having said that, this is quite a dark blue. But this is a maxi version, so I think that's why I see this as a summer version. But this one I see, because it's shorter, I think I just prefer to pair it with tights. Then this gorgeous fabric is in one of my favourite colours. It's a lovely shade of green. And I got this from Sewmesunshine, and actually Shona has made the exact same dress in the exact same fabric. So we are fabric twins, we are dress twins, which is lovely. As soon as I saw this fabric, I knew that it needed to be an indigo. And again, I've done the exposed seam, I've done the flounce, and I've done the exposed seam, oops, at the waist. Yes, I added pockets. I always doubt myself with the whole pocket thing, but yeah, I added pockets. And I just love that version. Again, I see this version as a winter-autumn version, and I tend to wear it with tights. I don't wear this in the summer. It's a viscose twill, if I remember correctly. So you can just see the weave, I think, in the fabric. So it's slightly heavier. It's still got a beautiful drape. Lovely movement, but it is slightly heavier. So I think that maybe that's why I see it as a winter-autumn version. And then I've got this version, which I did do the exposed ruffle, the exposed seam, sorry, on the empire waistline and the flounce. Now this one, I didn't have enough fabric. You're supposed to cut, on the original version, you cut the front and you cut the back bodice piece. Yeah, that's the back. You cut the front and the back on the fold. I didn't have enough in this fabric, this lovely mustard fabric, which again I think I got from Material Girl Laura. I love the pops of pink in this leopard print. It's just a really fun print. So I didn't have enough of this fabric to cut the back piece on the fold, but I really wanted to make an indigo out of it. I didn't really know what else to make out of it. So I made a feature of it. Because I added the exposed ruffle on the hem, I added an exposed ruffle at the back where I've had to cut it on the seam. So again, it's just another nice little feature. It's the only dress that I've done it on purely because I had to cut it as two separate pieces. So I thought I'd try and make a feature of it with the exposed seam here. I thought I might as well try and do the exposed seam on the back. I don't know if you can see that properly because the print's so busy. So they're all my flounce versions. Let's move on to, I think I've only got one. That is the no flounce, just regular standard bodice, no exposed seam, bracelet length sleeves. So that's this one. And again, this is for fabric from Material Girl Laura. Just love the neon in this dress. Now when I wear this dress, my girls, they're 10 and 11, Ruby will be 12 in September, say it's the banana dress. So I made this I think must have made this about a year ago, or maybe a year and a half ago. I can't remember how long the pattern's been out for. I've made it a while ago, and anyway, when I wear it, they say that all the neon lines in it look like bananas. So they call me Banana Lady when I wear this dress. But yeah, this is a peach skin, which is lovely and soft. You still get that gorgeous movement that you would from a viscose, but a peach skin is sort of shiny. It's got a really soft kind of shiny feel to it, almost a bit like a silk, but it's not a silk. It's a really beautiful fabric, such a gorgeous feel against your skin. So yeah, it works really well in a peach skin as well, this dress. I absolutely love this version. And like I said, I will insert pictures of all of these versions as we go along. Then let's have a look at the next lot. So this lot is, I think these are variations on the pattern. So these will be one of these styles, but I've changed it up a little bit. So this one is made in this fabric. It's a grey background, which is unusual for me. Then it's got these really lovely mustard flowers. Now I can't remember where I got this fabric from. It might have been Material Girl Laura, or it might have been Sewmesunshine, but this fabric had been in my stash for ages and ages and ages, and I just didn't know what to turn it into. And then when this pattern was released, I just thought it was a match made in heaven. So this version I did shorter sleeves, no exposed seam, but I did add a really chunky, almost like belt. So they're just ties stitched into the side seams, in a different type of fabric. So I just had some kind of like a suede type fabric, but it's not very thick, because I thought it matched the grey. I didn't have enough of this fabric to make ties in matching, but I quite like the different style belt. Now I've worn this version only ever in the winter, and I don't know whether it's because of the colours. I feel like the grey is quite a wintry colour, so I've worn this layered with tights. I think I wore a black long sleeve top underneath as well, actually. But yeah, I don't wear this one a huge amount. I don't know if it's because the colour isn't something that I would normally choose. Like a grey background is not something that I would normally choose. I do really like it, and actually getting out of the wardrobe has made me want to wear it more when I go back to school in the autumn. So that's a dress that I'd kind of forgotten I'd done. So the hack that I've done to that is added the waist ties. The same with this version. So again, I've done the short sleeves, no exposed seam at the waist. It's in this beautiful fabric, which has got, it's a navy background with pale blue, and then it's got these red sort of splodges. This was from Material Girl Laura. She does the most beautiful fabrics, and this is a viscose, so it's got beautiful drape. And again, I just added waist ties to bring it in on that version. So thank you, Joy, for the inspiration for doing that. Then I've got a tiger print one. I got this fabric from either Sewmesunshine or Like So Amazing. I can't remember which one. I think they both had it. And again, it's got tigers on it. I absolutely adore the print. Sorry, the light. It's so beautiful and sunny outside. So when I hold things up close, the light goes funny. It's got these gorgeous tigers on with the pops of colour from these pink flowers, which I absolutely love. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it wrong there. And again, I just added a tie, waist ties, to bring it in at the back. This version is using a vintage fabric again that I got on eBay. So I'm just going to hold, oh, what's that? Oh, it's a bit of scrap fabric. So it's this beautiful floral sort of minty colour, and then it's got these pops of yellow. I do love a fabric that's got a pop of yellow. I do like a fabric that's got a pop of colour, so that's beautiful. Now for this one, I did short sleeves, no exposed seam at the waist, but I did add a really cute ruffle in the shoulder. So I just used the Nina Lee Park Lane pattern. She's got a cute little ruffle pattern piece for the Park Lane dress, and I just inserted the ruffle at the sleeve before I inserted the sleeve, if that makes sense. So I stitched the ruffle in first and then I inserted the sleeve, so it's got these cute little ruffles on both sides. So that was a hack that I did to the Indigo. And then again, that was just this version. but with the short sleeves. And then this one, again, is probably one of my favourites. This is a Ruby Star Society fabric. And this was everywhere a while ago. Isn't it fab, this fabric? Just love the colours, absolutely love them. Now I managed to get a remnant piece from Sewmesunshine. I missed out first time when Harriet put this fabric on her store, and then she released some remnants, and this happened to be a remnant piece. I think it was 1.2 meters, and I managed to squeeze out an indigo, which I think looks, you know, lovely. I'll put pictures of me wearing it. I do wear it with tights, and again it's an autumn version, I think, just because it's slightly shorter on me than I would prefer. And I've talked before about the ideal length for me covers my knees, because I get psoriasis on my knees, and it's just an area that I don't like to have on show. It just makes me feel more comfortable. I didn't have enough to do the big flounce, but I did have enough to do a shorter, sort of slimmer ruffle, so that's what I did on the sleeves. And then yeah, I had to panel the skirt, that's what I had to do. So I had to panel, so it's got 2 panels at the front and then 2 panels at the back. But because of how busy the fabric is and the print, I don't think it matters. Sorry, this isn't as ironed as I would have preferred. But you almost can't see that line because of how busy the print is. So I think it works really well. I do really like wearing that one. I pair it with, I've got some Orla Keeley coral shoes, which I like to pair this with. Any excuse to get those shoes out of my wardrobe. So the next version that I'm going to share with you, or the next sort of selection of indigos that I've made, is this version, the maxi version, which is what I'm wearing at the moment. And I seem to have a thing for gingham at the moment. I've talked about this in my previous videos. So the first one is in this beautiful lilac gingham, which I got from Sewmesunshine. So this is like a cotton. I feel like it's a seersucker because I've ironed this, but it's still got that texture. So I think, if I remember correctly, it was a seersucker. But anyway, it's this beautiful lilac fabric. And lilac isn't a colour up until recently I would have chosen, but as you can see, I've got some lilac denim here to make a denim jacket for my daughter, but I've also got some denim on the way, which is the same colour, to make myself some more jeans, because I'm obsessed with pastel at the moment. So yeah, I love this version. I went for it. It's got the button down back. Now for this version, I chose to add snaps. I use prim snaps. I find that they're the best to go in, and I've got the pliers. I'll just pause it so I can get the pliers to show you. Okay, I've got the pliers. So they come like this. I'll just you get like the little safety thing just to hold them in. But they're just like this, and they come with different attachments. So you can add either the plastic pliers. So you can add either the plastic snaps, or you can add the metal snaps, which I've added to a few pinafores, and it's really easy to use. There's loads of tutorials on YouTube. Lots of people have done Instagram TV tutorials too. I would say if you're going to use these and you're going to use the snaps, I prefer prim. I just find their quality is really good. But I would also say test it out on your fabric, because even if you've done it, like I've done it on corduroy, and then I've done it on cotton, and I had to test it on both because of the thickness of the fabric. So do always do a test. It's the same rule of thumb that I stick to for doing buttonholes. Always test on a scrap piece of fabric that's the same weight and thickness as the fabric that you're sewing in and you want your buttonholes to go on. So yeah, this one's beautiful. I did add ties just so I've got the option to bring it in or out. But yeah, I love this version. It's a cotton, so it's not quite as drapey, but I'll put pictures in of me wearing it so you can see. I still really like the silhouette that you get, even though I've used a cotton that's, I guess, not as swishy. And I must have loved it because I've made a gingham one in yellow. This version is probably one of my favourites. I know I've said that about 5 or 6 of these, but it's just really happy colour. It makes me smile when I wear this. And again, I've done the button down hack on this, so I use the add-on pack, and you get a facing that goes all the way down. I don't know if you can see that. That's the inside of the back, so you get this facing that goes all the way down, and then you insert 4 buttons. Now for this one I've used Wim buttons. They're so beautiful. Look how pretty they are, and it's a lovely detail to have on your dress. I didn't add waist ties to this one because I quite like that oversized look. It has got pockets, and it's got the short sleeves. And this beautiful gingham is from Stitchy Bee Fabrics. She's got some gorgeous fabrics on her website, so do check her out. The next version is in this just lovely, beautiful viscose from Material Girl Laura. It's a green. Green is my favourite colour, and if you've watched one of my previous vlogs, you'll know that I was really sad that I missed out on this fabric, but Laura managed to get it back in, and as soon as it came back in, loads of people tagged me, which I was so grateful for. I think Tamlin was the first person to tag me, so thank you, Tamlin, from Sewn on the Tyne, because it meant that I could go and get some of this. I was so happy that I got some. This dress just makes me feel amazing. What it is about it, it just makes me feel brilliant. When I put it on, it feels like it's me. It's me in a dress. It's my favourite colour. It's long, it's flowy, it's lovely and drapey. I feel like I've found a style of dress that really suits me, like the long version. Yeah, this dress, it just makes me so happy. I absolutely love wearing it. And again, I did the button down back detail, and these buttons are from Felicity Fabrics. They're just beautiful gold buttons. I absolutely love them. And I did the short sleeve, but I added the ruffle at the bottom. Yeah, I love that dress. And then this one is made in a peach skin, and I made this version way before Tilly and the Buttons brought out the add-on pack for the Indigo, and I was just having a play around with the pattern and sort of hacking it. It's in this gorgeous black and white peach skin. Again, it feels really lovely and silky and soft. I did the bracelet length sleeve, which is a nice detail. I didn't do the exposed ruffle, it's just gathered at the waistline, but I did add the ruffle at the bottom. And this again is one of my favourite versions to wear. When I wear it to work, people ask where I bought it from. I'm still not great at saying, oh, I made it. Quite often when people say, oh, I love your dress, I'll be like, oh, thank you, and then try and quickly change the subject. I don't know what it is. I should be better at saying, thanks, I made it. I should be proud. And I am proud. I don't know. Be interested to know if you are confident saying to someone, thanks, I made it, or whether you are a bit like me and you skirt around it. I don't know. I need to get better at saying I made it. But anyway, this version I absolutely adore. And again, I didn't have enough of the fabric to cut the front or back bodice on the fold. And again, it was before the hack came out for the button down back, because if I had that, I probably would have done the button down back. But I had to cut the back and the front as two separate pieces. But because the fabric is so busy, you can't actually tell. It's only when I come close up that you can actually tell that I've done that. Anyway, that's all of my long versions. Now I'm going to share with you some hacks. It's a great pattern that you can just play around with. You can take the bodice, or you can take the skirt, or you can start with the bodice or the skirt and adapt it in whatever way. So I'm going to save my favourite to last. This one is in a tartan fabric that I got from Sew Over It when they were doing fabrics. And this version, again, because it's a tartan, it's quite a heavy tartan. I wanted it to be like a smock type dress that I could wear a long sleeve top underneath. This is definitely a winter version. And so that I could wear the top underneath, I've made it sleeveless. So obviously both sides are sleeveless. Bodice shape, aside from not putting the sleeves on, is exactly the same as the pattern. And again, I just gathered the skirt into the waistline. What I did for the sleeves, instead of, I didn't draft a facing, what I did instead is I just finished it off with bias binding. I love that version. Again, it's one of my favourites. I mean, they're all my favourites. It's really difficult to choose. Then one of my favourite hacks is using the Alexa Jumpsuit Bodice, which I'll put a picture in of what it looks like. So that's the Tilly and the Buttons pattern, because I really like the V shape for that bodice. So I've used that, and it's button down front instead of button down back. And then I've just used the skirt from the extension pack. I've used the skirt from the extension pack, and then just the bodice from the Alexa Jumpsuit, and mashed them together. So I've got a lovely maxi dress. Yeah, and I love wearing that. This fabric is from First for Fabrics. Then another hack that I did, which is lovely. It's not 100% perfect, and I think I will play around with it before I do another one of these. This fabric's from Lamazi Fabrics. So I've added waist ties. I've used the bodice from the Sophia jumpsuit from Tilly and the Buttons Make It Simple book. I did waist ties, they're not waist ties. I did shoulder ties. It's got button down the front, so I've really hacked around with it. But then I used the skirt pattern piece from Tilly and the Buttons Indigo to do a tiered skirt. I don't know if you can see that. So I've panelled the skirt, so it's got different tiers. So I used the skirt to sort of give me the shape that I wanted, and then I just cut tiers and then stitched them together, and then it's got the long ruffle at the bottom with the gathers. So I'll put pictures in of me wearing that one. And then my final indigo dress, which is definitely 100% my favourite dress. It's definitely only for Christmas because of all the sparkles on it. But this one, I had an idea. I got this amazing sequined fabric from Like So Amazing, and I was going to use it to make a jumper, but then I thought it might feel a bit too kind of scratchy or a bit too heavy to wear as a jumper. So I had an idea to use the indigo dress as a base and see if I could use the sequined fabric as the skirt here, and then use a different fabric for the top. Now, because of the weight of these sequins, I knew that it needed to be quite a thick fabric or quite a strong fabric, because if I'd have used a viscose, it would have just pulled it down and it just would have looked awful. So I had some glittery fabric that I got from, I think I got this from Sewmesunshine, sweatshirting. How cool is that? You can see the shimmer. And because I knew that I wanted it to be a winter version, I added the fluted sleeve. Oh, I love it. I love the sparkle. It's definitely a party dress. So I used the bodice, very loosely used the bodice of the indigo. And I just sort of did like a jumper type. So I used a couple of patterns to draft my own jumper top, if that makes sense. Yeah, did I put darts? Yeah, I did put darts in the jumper actually because I wanted some shaping. And then what I had to do at the back is have a little keyhole opening and then finish it with a popper. And then it's got this incredible swishy skirt. I just love it. And then what I was able to do, I'm just going to come a bit closer so I can show you. I was able to keep the net bottom of the skirt. So the sequins come on this mesh panel, or this mesh fabric, and what I was able to do, because I was really worried about how I would hem this, I was able to keep this as the hem. So the mesh is already hemmed and the sequins stop here, so it's got a tiny bit, a couple of inches of like this see-through mesh at the bottom. Oh, I just love it. I know it's not to everybody's taste, but isn't it fun? I just love it. I'm only ever, I mean, you know, let's be honest, I'm only ever going to be able to wear this at Christmas, but it's 100% without a doubt my favourite version, because it's a bit bonkers, but it's the ultimate party dress. You know, glittery, cosy jumper on top, and then this amazing sequin skirt on the bottom. So that is all of my Tilly and the Buttons indigo dresses. So as you can see, I've had lots of fun with the pattern. I 100% adore the pattern. I think it's fabulous. It's got such hackability. It's a really versatile pattern. I think it looks great on a range of body types. And if you are not keen on that really oversized look, then Joy's hack of adding waist ties is a really great way to just bring it in and give yourself some shaping. Let me know down below what your favourite pattern is. I've got to think really carefully now about what the next roundup of my favourite pattern will be. I've made a lot of Sophia t-shirts. No, not Sophia. Tabitha t-shirts from the Make It Simple book, and I've made a lot of the t-shirt dresses as well, so I might do that as my next video. So I hope you really enjoyed that insight into my wardrobe. Oh, I didn't say how many dresses I've made. So over on Instagram I shared that I thought I'd made 21. I've actually made 22 because I found the small dotty dress. So 22 indigo dresses of varying styles. So I've got enough to see me through 3 weeks of just wearing an indigo dress. Let me know down below what your go-to pattern is and what you've made the most of. I've had a really interesting conversation with loads of people over on Instagram about their go-to pattern and what their favourite pattern is. Thank you so much for watching. Another thing to say before I go, I've had really interesting conversations also with lots of people in the sewing community about friendships that have been formed on Instagram. I feel so lucky to have made lots of friends, and when I say friends, I mean people that I talk to. I absolutely adore all of the things that they make. I think they're fantastic at what they do, and they're just really lovely and friendly and nice to talk to. I haven't met half of them, but I do feel like, you know, we're really good friends. Kath from Made by Kath Crast, she's got a YouTube channel. We talk all the time. Like, I haven't met her, but we're really, really good friends. So a couple of people were like messaging me and saying they just feel really shy. Where do you start? How do you make sewing friends on there? My experience of the sewing community is everybody is so lovely and inviting and open and friendly. I did put a post on Instagram about my experiences because it's all just been fantastic. I went to the Sewing Weekender last year and met so many amazing people, and I'll never forget Adele from Button and Pip, and Laura actually from Material Girl Laura, coming up to me and saying hi and just giving me a massive hug like I was someone that they talk to all of the time and was, you know, someone that lived around the corner. Sewing people really are the best. So my best advice to you, or my biggest piece of advice, would just be start talking on there. You know, comment on people's makes, like their makes, and if you're not feeling confident enough to do that, then send somebody a direct message, because I guarantee sewing people love to talk about sewing, fabric, patterns, anything to do with sewing, and that you'll just get a conversation going, even if you're feeling shy. Because I'm, you know, to walk into a busy room of people would make me feel terrified, but there's something about having that common interest of sewing or crafting or knitting, which is just a great conversation starter. Anyway, I'm going to go. I hope you enjoy whatever you're up to today and over the next few days. I'm hoping to film my July makes video, and that will be out in a couple of days too. Thanks so much for watching. Take care and have a lovely day. Bye.